Hello, my dear students. Hope you guys are all doing good. Hope you guys are all perfectly fine. So I hope and I wish that you guys are all giving your examinations in a very great manner. And my dear CA inter students, the next paper which you have to tackle is paper number 5, which is auditing and ethics. And I know you all might be confused about how to spend that 1.5 day of time available before you go for the examination, which chapters you have to focus, which areas you have to concentrate. I know all this bugs might be going on in your brain. So I'm here before you to help you out. I will give you a proper strategy, which chapters you have to focus more, which areas you have to concentrate more, how you are supposed to utilize that 1.5 day of time available before you sit for the examination. I'm here for you to help you out. So I hope this video will benefit you all. Please take this 1.5 day of time seriously. Why? Because whatever preparation you have done till now, that is one thing. And if you are unable to revise all that preparation in that 1.5 day of time available, your efforts will go waste. So properly utilizing this 1.5 day of time available is very important. So don't miss out on this. I will just help you out how you are supposed to spend the time of this 1.5 day of time available. Okay, right. So having said that, let me not waste any of your time. Directly, I will come to the point. So, sir, what areas I have to focus? Where I have to concentrate more? So first, I will say the moment you have come from paper number 4 examination, say for example, you are reaching to your room or home by evening 6. So take some amount of rest and immediately after, not a prolonged rest. So a rest for 1.5 hour, 2 hour, that is enough. So after you have taken enough of rest, so what you should do, start your preparation as early as you could. Start your revision as early as you could. Guys, only 2 more exams are left. Anyhow, after that, you are going to spend the time in whatever manner you want. But now don't unnecessarily waste your time here and there. Sit for preparation as early as you could. And the first thing what you should do is, so I'm directly coming to the point, no beating around the bush. Directly, whatever is the objective of the video, that only I will speak, not anything else. So first, what you should do is, if you are a person who have not yet had a look at MTPs and RTPs for this attempt and also for the previous attempt, mark my words carefully. If you are a person who have not yet gone through MTPs and RTPs of this attempt as well as the previous attempt, first thing, do it. First thing, do it. After that, proceed with the chapters. So my humble suggestion, don't go for the examination without having a look at MTPs and RTPs. Why? Because previously also we have seen in the previous attempts significant kind of questions are coming from similar kind of questions are getting tested in the main question paper from which whatever have been reflected in the MTPs and RTPs. So my humble request, if you have not yet gone through the MTPs and RTPs of this attempt and the previous attempt, please first go through the MTPs and RTPs. If you have already done it, well and good, excellent. If you have not done it, please do it. Please do MTPs and RTPs once. So once you have done that, once MTPs and RTPs are over, now directly come to the chapters. Sir, which chapters I have to focus more? Guys, I know we have a limited amount of time. 1.5 day of time is available. And I know that majority of the students will not be able to revise all the content, all the chapters you will not be able to revise. If you are such a student who has done multiple levels of preparation, multiple rounds of revision, if you are able to cover all the content within this 1.5 day of time available, then there is no need for you any strategy. Any strategy is not required for you. You can skip this video. But I know majority of the students, 90% of the students don't fit in that category. I know 90% of the students might find difficulty to revise all the chapters. I know. So I know whoever is watching this video, yes, you belong to that category. So this video is for you. If you are able to revise 100%, then there is no need for any strategy. No, but I know 90% of the students will not fall in that category. So for you guys, what you are required to concentrate. See, we have to do a proper utilization of the time in such a manner within a shortest amount of time possible. We should be able to cover maximum marks. So we should devise our chapters. We should prioritize our chapters in such a manner. Right? So I will tell you the order which you have to follow. See, follow the same order. In whatever order I'm telling you the chapters, follow the same order. So first you start with nature, objective and scope of audit. Very simple chapter. Limited number of questions will be there. It will talk about various things like what aspects have to be covered, what will be the scope, what is not included, audit versus investigation, what is an assurance engagement. So like that, a lot of things they will try to say. First, try to cover nature, objective and scope of audit. Once you are done with that, ethics and the terms of engagement. So pick up the chapter ethics and the terms of engagement, complete that chapter ethics and terms of engagement. Mainly this chapter is going to talk about essay 210, and in that ethics and terms of engagement also, one more important aspect which you have to focus more is the different kinds of threats, independence, ethical principles or fundamental principles. So all these things will be there. Try to completely thoroughly cover ethics and the terms of engagement also. Then comes the next chapter, which is audit reporting. So for open the chapter audit reporting and try to complete that chapter audit reporting. So in the audit reporting chapter, we have 4 standards which are required to cover: 700, 701, 705 and 706. So 700 talks about overall auditor's report, 701 talks about key audit matters, 705 talks about this different kinds of modified opinion, and 706 talks about emphasis of matter and other matter paragraph. Apart from that, we have reporting requirements under 143 subsection 1, 143 subsection 3, and even we have the most important thing, what are the reporting requirements under CARO 2020. And apart from that, we have something called SA 299, joint audit of the financial statements, that also you cover it. So audit reporting chapter, nothing should be left out. Everything, each and every line from the audit reporting chapter, you please try to revise it. So 3 chapters, first 3 chapters, what is the order? Number 1, nature, objective and scope of audit. Number 2, ethics in the terms of engagement. Number 3, audit reporting. So once you are done with that, now I will say another chapter, audit strategy, planning and program. See, previously I used to keep this chapter at the last, but now I want you to go through this chapter as early as you could. So audit strategy, planning and program, this chapter also you prioritize it a lot. Why? Because we are seeing in the recent attempts from this chapter, audit strategy, planning and program, very small chapter, very point wise questions, no much concept is there in that chapter, but still from that chapter 7 to 8 marks are getting tested. Previously I used to say this chapter you keep it at the last, but I no longer say that. Audit strategy, planning and program, please try to cover every content which is there in this chapter. From this chapter 7 to 8 marks are getting tested in the recent examinations. The trend is like that. Okay, so please do it. I know this chapter is very boring to learn, but you have to learn it. Our immediate objective is to get through the examination, right? So you have to cover that audit strategy, planning and program. Then comes audit documentation and evidence. In the audit documentation and evidence, we have to cover 2 standards, SA 230 and SA 500. SA 230 talks about audit documentation, audit file, assembly, retention, audit completion memorandum, summary. So like that, many things will be there regarding documentation that you try to cover it. When it comes to audit evidence, it talks about different kinds of audit procedures like risk assessment, compliance, and then we have substantive audit procedures, and what are the various methods. We have 7 methods for obtaining audit evidence. That's 7 methods. What is sufficiency of audit evidence? What is appropriateness of audit evidence? If you want to make use of management experts work, what protocols you have to follow? So like that, we have a bunch of questions. So that chapter also you have to cover it. So guys, I will tell you, if you are lucky enough, and if you would have thoroughly, when I say thoroughly, completely, you should have covered the content from these 5 chapters, you have a probability of scoring easily 30 to 35 marks. 30 to 35 marks. In the worst case, I'm telling. In the worst case, if you are lucky enough, in the worst case scenario also, you might be able to fetch somewhere around 30 to 35 marks only from this 5 bunch of chapters. So your top priority should be with these 5 chapters. Without reading these 5 chapters, don't go for the examination. That much important these 5 chapters are. So once you are done with these 5 chapters, then I would suggest you to go through the standards on auditing chapter. In our material, you will be able to find something called standards on auditing, where we have clubbed all the standards and given it. So in that standards on audit also, first what you do is there will be some intro part. In my material, if you follow, there will be an intro part will be there, where we will explain 4 categories of standards. What is SA, what is SRE, what is SAE, what is SRS, what is SQC1, which category of standards deal with what is historical financial information, what is prospective financial information, what is reasonable assurance engagement, what is limited assurance engagement, what is moderate assurance engagement. So like that, some introductory content will be there. Please go through the introductory part. That is going to be highly important for MCQs. Then you pick up 500 series of the standards, go through 501, 505, 510, 560, 570, 580. First to cover the 500 series of the standards. Then I will say 200 series. In the 200 series also, 260, 265, 450. These 3 standards are recently added in the syllabus at the CA inter level. So from this 260, 265 and 450, there are very frequently testing a question, and from SA 450, very frequently they are asking the question. So please cover 260, 265 and 450. After that, cover 220 and SQC1. So these are standards you have to cover. So as you all are aware, we have the marathon available. You can take the assistance of the marathon. In the marathon, I have comprehensively covered. Even though it is a marathon, you will actually feel like a regular session. In such a comprehensive manner, I have covered the standards in our marathon. So you can always take the help of the marathon. So first, cover the standards. So if you would have done till here, if you would have done till here, it is very easy to get the 40 marks. 40 marks, you can easily get it. There is nothing stopping you, provided you should be thorough. You should not have left, you should not be choosy, you should have covered the content of all this, whatever I have told. So if you would have covered that, 40 marks is already there in your pocket, very easy. And if your time is good enough, from these content alone, you can be able to easily score up to 55 marks also. The weightage can go up to 55 marks, but 40 marks is guaranteed in the worst case scenario also. Okay. Then after that, what I would suggest you to do is take the bank audit chapter. In the bank audit chapter also, whether you read the complete chapter or not, I'm least bothered. But one thing I want you all to cover in the bank audit chapter, which is asset classification, NPA norms, provisioning. Open the study material and have a look at it. You will be able to find, as per the Banking Regulation Act, what are the NPA norms, what is asset classification, what are the provisioning requirements. You'll be able to find it. That I wanted you to go through. Why? Because in the recent times we are seeing that MCQ, a case scenario MCQ, is getting tested from the bank audit, that too from NPA norms, asset classification and provisioning requirements. So my humble request, please open the bank audit. First, go through NPA norms, asset classification and provisioning requirements, at percentages, and how many, when NPA will be classified. So from that case scenario MCQ might come. So please do cover it. See, after this also, you still have time left. Even after covering this, you still have time left. I will talk about what you should do in the time left. But before that, I will say one thing. Just before you go for the examination, say for example, on 22nd, you are going to go for the examination, right? 22nd afternoon, you are going to go for examination. Say for example, you are stopping your preparation at 12 o'clock. 2 or 3 hours prior to that, like for example, either from 10 to 12 on the day of the examination, or from 9 to 12 on the day of the examination. So that time I want you to block. On the day of the examination, either 2 hours or 3 hours before you immediately go for the examination, I want you to block that time, and I want you to go through the chapter audit of items of the financial statements, audit of various entities, audit of items of the financial statements, or audit of different types of entities. My request, guys, I am telling you, you will come and thank me later. So that last 2 hours or 3 hours before you go for the examination, dedicate that time for the purpose of going through the 2 chapters, audit of items of the financial statements and audit of various entities. If you have not read these chapters until now, please at least do it now. So if you are aware, in my website and all, you will be able to find summary notes of audit of items of the financial statements and summary notes of audit of various entities. I have one summary notes. Generally, I don't ask anybody to go through summary notes, but for these last 2 chapters, reading from the main material looks very difficult. So exclusively keeping in mind the need of the students, I have prepared the summary materials from these 2 chapters, audit of items of financial statements and audit of various entities. At least go through that summary, and 2 to 3 hours you have to dedicate it. I'm telling you, you will come and thank me later for sure for that. So now, in between, so after you have covered this till bank audit, NPA norms and all, and last 2 hours you should have been dedicating to these 2 chapters. In between, if you have any excess time left, that in that time, what you do is, the next priority is try to cover the chapter audit sampling, analytical procedures, audit in an automated environment. But I think 50 to 60% of the students will not find this time. But if you are such a student, who is very thorough in your preparation, still you have some time left. In that time, what you do is cover audit sampling chapter, cover analytical procedures chapter, and cover audit of automated environment. That also you can do it. Even after that also, if you have some excess time left, I know very small percentage of the students will fall here in this category. After that also, if you have any time left, then cover risk assessment and internal control chapter. See, why I'm keeping these chapters at the end is not because these chapters are not important from the examination perspective. These chapters are important. From these chapters also questions will come. But yeah, I can't expect every student to cover 100% of the syllabus. So that's why I'm doing that prioritization. But my humble request will be, if I have to say something which you have to compulsorily go through before you go for the examination, these are 5 chapters you have to thoroughly go through. And the last 2 chapters, audit of items of the financial statements, audit of various entities, you do it. That means if you are such a person, you will take a lot of time for revision. You will not be able to cover even this much content also, sir. Whatever you have told, this also I will not be able to cover, sir. I'm very slow in my revision and all. Then I will say, boss, if you are such a student, at least to go through these 5 chapters and last 2 chapters. Okay. So just to follow this order of preparation, order of revision, definitely the things will help you out. You will definitely get through the examination. Don't worry about it, right? So keep all the fear aside. Don't unnecessarily get worried on various things like exams are postponed for this attempt. The exam paper might be very difficult. The questions they might twist and ask because we have got more time and all. Keep this all the things aside. So just to go with the faith that you have done your preparation, question paper will be manageable. I will not say question paper will be dead easy. You should not go with that expectation for any exam. So question paper will be manageable. You can manage that question paper. You can answer that, have a positive attitude. And the only thing which is in your control is that time, make a proper utilization of it. Don't unnecessarily get troubled by other person views and all. Some person will come and say, oh, paper will be difficult, paper will be like this. Different people will give different views on you. Different people will rub their thoughts on you. Don't let that happen. Just you have your time available, make proper utilization of it. All the very best, guys. Take care, everyone. Please concentrate on your health as well, and take appropriate food and all. And see you all later, and all the very best for your exams. Bye, take care.